I don't know. It felt like something that kind of just needed to come to the surface and then him address it finally.
So, Derek, what did it feel like to kind of hit the send button on this one? Like, because you've made a lot of videos over the years, and I'm sure most of them you probably felt really good about. You're like, this is going to help a lot of people. This is going to share a lot of great information. But this one is different because it could negatively impact somebody's life. There's a lot going on, and a lot has happened since the release of the video. Was there like some conflict when you dropped the video? Was some conflict even just in thinking like, I don't really know what the fuck this is going to do?
Yeah, a little bit. Hesitation for sure. Like, it's a pretty high impact video, and I knew it would, I didn't know it would pick up this much traction, but I knew it would be pretty significantly covered or impactful on, I don't know, just the overarching I don't know, like the prevalence of this the Liver King character over the past year has just been in everyone's face. And you know, I knew people would be paying attention to the video for sure, and I didn't really know what to expect as far as, like, for me it was just about communicating what, I don't know, like, I've been on the sidelines watching this thing like turn into this debacle of like bigger lie on a bigger lie and a bigger lie. And I don't know, it just like felt sort of like, it felt justified, but at the same time, it's such an impactful video. There's obvious hesitation on my end to put out something. Cause again, like I don't necessarily need the video really. Like for me, like I put out, you know, reaction videos here and there that'll get, you know, 1 million views or whatever. Like I don't necessarily need this video. So it's like, oh, I could just do nothing and, you know, not deal with potential heat on it or anything. So that definitely crosses my mind for sure. But I don't know. It felt like something that kind of just needed to come to the surface and then him address it finally.
It's definitely different than some stuff that we've seen in the past. Like there used to be those like NutriFast or Slim Fast type commercials, or there was like stuff with like Dan Marino and these NFL players and people that used to be overweight or retired from their sport, and they gained a lot of weight, and then they said that they used this product to lose weight. And I think a lot of people probably knew that they didn't, but there's also a lot of people that probably don't recognize that. However, in the case of the Liver King, it was different because anytime the conversation got to be about performance-enhancing drugs, he would not only deny it, a lot of times he would go out of his way to deny it. And in conversation with him, when I sat down at his dinner table, he was the one bringing it up, and he was the one, you know, commenting like that he's natural and he follows these ancestral tenets and stuff. So he kind of, in a way, I guess, like what we saw with Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong like went after people, like
the bullying.
He went after people for years, saying, you know, and suing people and all kinds of stuff. So I think in this case, you know, he's adamantly lying and denying and stuff like that. And so I think it was important to get that information out there.
Yeah, I just, I don't know if it's because he's wasn't a public facing individual and was so disconnected from that world from the jump that he wasn't aware of like that, how that is perceived in the fitness industry, because it almost seemed like something you would have seen 20 years ago, but not now. Right. And I don't know, it was just baffling to me that he would not only go out of his way to bring it up and like lean into it. Like you could, I don't see how much, maybe there's a bit less impact if from the jump he just said, yeah, like, by the way, I need this, you know, replacement therapy overseen by a doctor, but like these other, you know, lifestyle practices are still what overarchingly are like my foundation for being a healthy person. Like, I don't think people would have not got on board with what he was preaching otherwise. Like,
and he kind of mentions that it doesn't impact his business much. So if it doesn't make much difference one way or the other, why wouldn't you be forthcoming? And I've been forthcoming. I've been talking about steroids forever. And in my brother's movie, Bigger, Stronger, Faster, I mentioned I love steroids. I'll probably be on and off them the rest of my life. Probably I feel the exact same way today as I did 12 years ago. I fucking love them, and I will probably party with them until the day I die.
You need to chill, dog. Goddamn. But, you know, with this whole Liver King thing, there does seem to be a good and a bad to it, because, and it's not like I'm a big fan of the Liver King, but when you look at kind of initially when he came onto the scene, he was talking about the tenets mainly. And then a little bit later on, the supplements ended up coming in as being like, but if you don't want to eat liver, take this supplement. And the interesting thing that he was doing, which you don't necessarily see done, is, for example, in fitness, when you, I guess you see this sometimes now, but OG fitness, you'd see guys come on and they're fucking huge and they look a certain way, but it's because they take this specific testosterone supplement. This helped me gain, increase my testosterone. Like, they literally said, this supplement helps me look this way. Now, again, I don't love the Liver King or anything, but he never necessarily said that if you eat liver, you will look this way. You know what I mean? He never said that. And it's a tough thing because I'm not saying it's right that he lied. We know that. It's not good that he lied. But the message was never eat this to look like this, even though for people who are uneducated and aren't in fitness or don't pay much attention to this, it's going to be perceived that way from a lot of people. Power Project family, shut your fucking mouth. We've been talking about breathing through your nose and nasal breathing during your sleep for the past 5 years. That's why we've partnered with Hostage Tape. It's the best tape on the market, sticks to your face even if you have a beard. So head to hostagetape.com/powerproject and you'll be able to get a year's supply of tape for 55 cents a day. That shit saves you $150. It's a no-brainer. Links in the description and the podcast show notes. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the explicit nature of everything is what we're ultimately like after all the time. I mean, you could say that like every Coca-Cola commercial, every McDonald's commercial shows healthy people experiencing life in a beneficial way. And yet we could demonize them for portraying their product like that, when in reality it causes serious health issues. They don't explicitly say you're going to be a healthy individual if you consume our products, but it's still likely it's insinuating it, and it's likely going to lead to a net negative down the line. I think there's two like real reasons, and I remember this conversation with Derek specifically, is that it's kind of like we didn't want to. I mean, he could have literally just pressed record and just read the emails, and that video would have banged, and then it would have taken off. But I remember saying, like, let's make this a little bit bigger than that. Like, let's develop a story that is overarching to not just the fitness community, but sales and marketing as a whole. And the holes in all of those things that people refuse to see, or they do see it, they just are kind of complicit in it. So with Liver King, what you saw was a lot of people who are saying the same thing over and over again, as if it's some sort of like new take. If you believed that he was natural, you're an idiot, right? And the thing is, like, nobody would be willing to admit, not one human right now would say, I thought he was natural.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt, though. Seriously. No, that's the thing. When Mark went over there and asked him, and he said, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
When he came back, we talked about it. I didn't say, yeah, I believe he's natural. But to be perfectly honest, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Right. Because when you would like to take people at their word with some of these things.
I chose to just keep my opinion to myself when I did come back and when we did talk about him, because I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and call him a liar.
You guys are like outliers in the fact that you knew the guy and you or had experiences with him, or you secondary knew him.
We've been in the fitness industry a long time.
The thing that I wanted to point to was like, he's this kind of guy who's like this lovable heel. He's like, whether we know he's natty or not, it's kind of like, that's just the Liver King, let him do his thing. Yeah. I always bring this example up when he appeared on UFC. It was like they were showing actual celebrities, and then they're showing, oh, look, there's the Liver King. And there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, he's not natural, but it's the Liver King. I'm going to get a picture with him and all these things. Like, okay, so just to be sure, like, now that we've proven that he's not natty, are you going to take a picture with him? Are you going to do the same thing with him? Maybe, maybe not. But those are the same people that we were kind of trying to be like, hey, like, it wasn't just the lie in that he was taking steroids. It was like his whole setup was a lie. I mean, when he called his shot I think was the most crazy thing. I want to look as good as possible. So I need a coach to help me take my drugs to look as good as possible so I can promote my brand.
Andrew, you mind commenting on this a little bit? Our
Sure.
conversation.
And by all means, Mark, cut me off if I say too much. But no, when Mark came back after hanging out with Liver King at the Liver King Ranch, we were on a walk, and me and Nsima are just like, come on, dude, like what do you really think is going on here? Because like we wanted Mark's opinion. And he's just like, I think he made a business decision to get in the best shape possible by all means. And he hired, but keep in mind, this is well before your guys' video. He's like, he hired a media team. He's like, I'm going to have them live with me. They're going to record everything, and I'm going to get as much attention as possible. And then fast forward, I don't know, get 4 months or so when your guys' video came out. And in that email, everything that he had said is what Mark had said right after he met him. But obviously he didn't tell him this directly. This is just what Mark had like assumed had happened, and it was spot on. And it was just like one of the craziest things where I'm like, Mark, how'd you figure that out? And that's just Mark being Mark sometimes, though.
When you read the email, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah,
I was like, I kind of felt that when I was there, because he's really smart. I don't know if either one of you ever.
No, I think he downplays his intelligence
interaction.
significantly.
I asked him, dude. I asked him business stuff, and he just like,
yeah.
he just went off just like anybody else that I've ever met that's really proficient in business.
Hey, baby. I'm joking. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, and head to the Power Project Discord, all right? I know you enjoyed the video. Speak to y'all soon.